Welcome to Business Connection Zoom edition. I'm joined today by Dave Mika from BMO Harris Bank. He's the Market President. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks, Liz. Great being here.
Great being with you. Tell me a little bit about how the current pandemic has impacted the BMO Harris and specifically in Naperville here.
I appreciate the question. And, it's clearly been a different environment for us to operate in, and one that we've taken obviously seriously as we look at the environment, doing our best to take care of our employees, take care of our customers, serve the customers in the healthiest way. So we've kept our branches open as a whole, but we have moved to just drive-up only services. Want to make sure people really understand that it isn't your typical drive-up. We can do practically anything through the drive-up. We're closing our loans through drive-ups, we're doing wire transfers through drive-ups, we're obviously still cashing payroll checks and handling deposits, but really letting people know that the full services of the bank are still available to them right in their local communities at our local branches. And so that's been a big part of sort of the transition and things we've done to keep our customers safe and healthy, keep our employees safe and healthy, and still meet the day-to-day banking needs of our customers. I'd also say this has been, a challenging time economically for folks. And, as a bank and helping people with their finances every day, we've also stepped up in ways to really make life a little easier and maybe provide some relief through our hardship relief programs. And what that means, Liz, is, things as simple as, waiving fees on accounts, or if someone needs access to money now and they've got a CD with us, waiving the early withdrawal penalty so they can get the cash that they need to meet their day-to-day expenses. If they happen to have a loan or a credit card or a mortgage with us, we've literally offered payment deferral programs so people can defer those payments until we get through this crisis and they really get back on their feet financially. So we've tried to do a number of things that not only protect the public and our customer base, as well as our employees, but really are hopefully adding some value and some relief to make it a little easier to make their way through this environment.
Well, you have said some magic words to me: relief, customer service, stepping up, because I think that many people view banks differently now because of what you've done. We've always viewed banks a little bit as scary and got to make that payment. But now with that hardship program, there's a handout, there's some assistance. And yeah. I appreciate that. And that moves me to the next question that, businesses and not-for-profits also look at banks with an, full heart because of the help that was given through the, helping us guide those SBA loans for their Paycheck protection program. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what BMO did. I mean, it was pivotal for businesses.
I will tell you, it really was. And probably some of the most heartwarming stories you've heard and maybe heart-wrenching as well, was hearing, people literally, I'm going to lose my business. I'm really putting my employees in hardship. And to have this SBA program come through that have provided the funds through the banks to be able to support those businesses and provide the funds to maintain their payroll, to make their rent payment, et cetera. It really was a godsend, I think, to our communities as a whole. And it was something we were very, very proud to be a part of and to participate in. And we invested significant dollars to be able to do it in a way that was as human, but still as simple as we could possibly make that process for our customers. And, it's for us locally, I had a whole team working on this, night and day, you would say, throughout the process. Just with my local team, as an example, we process over 550 of those transactions here in town. In an average size of about $55,000. So these are really going to small businesses out there locally. And again, the stories and the appreciation we had from these businesses were incredible. And I would say, because the guidelines came out on Friday night before it went live, it wasn't like banks had a lot of time to learn this. And we really had to put our effort in and learn quickly. And so I will say this, it wasn't perfect. There were 2 rounds of it. And there were folks that, quite honestly, even locally, applied and got through, and we just didn't get the funds the first round. But then the government came back through with the second round of funding. And we were able to get to those folks and really it was a great process where it was our bankers connecting directly with our customers, walking them through the process, being able to deliver on this. And to this day, the funds haven't been exhausted. So as we speak, as we're taping this, there's still funds available. So we're still helping our clients who have an interest in the payment protection program.
And I think that's wonderful. I think that banks played an important role. They were complicated. You did not get any notice. You did not get, time to ramp up. It was a Friday night, literally, like at 9 p.m. Here's this huge 200-page document of guidelines, and bam, go. And people are so excited and so anxious to get it. So I commend BMO Harris and all the banks in our area, because you really stepped up. So, BMO Harris Bank has been known throughout the Naperville community as our community bank. I mean, you give to the community. How is this pandemic and COVID-19 and this whole economic crisis going to impact your ability to support the community?
I would look at it two ways there, Liz. I think one is looking at the support we already provide. And quite honestly, just like this has changed how people do business, how people, manage their personal lives. It's changed a little bit on the demands of our not-for-profit community and areas that we support. And we've had to change with it. And I feel very proud of the fact that, for instance, with the District 04 and the Volunteer of the Month program that we support every month, where we give $1,000 in recognition to the Volunteer of the Month for those schools to use to support those programs. With the schools being closed during the COVID pandemic, you don't really have the same type of program, and the needs changed. And quite honestly, the Education Foundation for 204 stepped in and did a nice job of providing resources to help families that really were distressed during COVID because they might have lost a job, or they might have lost childcare, or not been able to afford childcare and things like that. Even not having the food for lunches and things. And so they've done a variety of things, and we redirected our funds to support that program just because that's where the greatest need was. And we didn't want, we weren't going to withhold the funds because there was no Volunteer of the Month anymore. We wanted to invest it somewhere. And so I think as we looked at those types of circumstances where we could shift and move our money to where it'd be more impactful, that's what we've tried to do to live up to our commitments to our community, which we absolutely are still fully committed to supporting our communities and the not-for-profits that are out there. I'd also share, I think it was exciting, NCTV did the virtual State of the City. And so we were very proud of the fact that we were a big supporter of that when it was going to be a live event in early March. Because of the COVID virus, we deferred that, and it eventually shifted from a live in-person, very popular event to the virtual event through your, through the expertise that NCTV brought to the table. And it was a great event, and we were very proud to continue to be a big sponsor. And we had bankers on, we had customers on via the link to really participate and listen in to the mayor on the State of the Village. And so those were ways that I think we felt like we continue to honor our commitments out there and still actively support new and different ways of supporting our communities and our not-for-profits.
Well, we thank you for supporting everybody, because it's a huge impact. We look to banks. Banks are great corporate citizens. They play a big role, whether it be in the dollars they give or putting members or bankers on boards, being volunteer groups, things like that. Banks are a wonderful part of the community. So totally thank you. You're also the presenting sponsor for Naperville Sports Weekly, and you were super good as we finished out that season a little unusual too.
It was a great show, though, recognizing those teams at the end of the season and at the end of the year. And I can imagine how disappointing that was, for the student athletes that are out there. But I hope they also saw through that program how much people deeply cared for their experiences and where they go next in life. And I just thought, again, very proud of our support of that programming and what you guys did.
Well, we thank you. Dave, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join me and to talk a little bit about BMO Harris Bank in our community. It means so much. We wish you continued success. We will keep our eyes on you. And if we, anytime you need to come and chat with me again, I welcome you, and we hope to chat with you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Liz. Appreciate the time.